It's Wednesday the 26th of October 2016 and I'm back at West Lavington in Wiltshire to do a section of the Wessex Ridgeway long distance path, and that's how it leaves the outskirts of West Lavington along that path. A few yards on from the first clip, the path turns right beside a hawthorn hedge. Now turning left beside a sports field. The path continues ahead. Some views over to the left. Unfortunately, it's a bit grey and misty at the moment, although it's forecast to get better. At least there's no dense fog, which was a possibility. Further on, the path opens out, and now we're climbing steadily towards those trees ahead. We come to the strip of woodland and Wessex Ridgeway turns right, down there, heading towards a path junction. Now at the path junction, with byway signs, and Wessex Ridgeway now turns left. Up there, towards the woodland. The wide track climbs remorselessly through the woodland. We reach the top of a rise and the path becomes less distinct beside this hedge. Wiltshire bridleway sign over to my left and some views, and the sun is trying to break through, so some of this haze hopefully will disappear, and the path continues between those hedges. Great views ahead now, even in this dull weather. Hopefully the sun will break through. It hasn't managed to yet. The path starts to descend, but I think it's going to rise again to the hill ahead. The Wessex Ridgeway can be pretty strenuous. Further on, the path becomes clearer again, but it was a slippery descent on wet chalk. Hopefully that's over. At this point, where the track turns right, as indicated by that arrow on the waymark on the right, we continue ahead up that valley. Now, as you can see from the sky, weather's brightening up. There's the path ahead along this valley. At this point, we need to take the path climbing the escarpment. I'm having a breather from the stiff climb, looking back. Great autumn colours and great views. This is looking back the way I've come down that valley. We now turn right on this road at the top of the hill. I think we've joined the Imber Range perimeter path, a 30-mile circular long distance footpath, and the Wessex Ridgeway follows this for some distance. And there's confirmation that we're on this Imber Range circular long distance footpath. The walk now heads along this farm track. Signs over to the left. But we can keep along the wide farm track. The wide track marches steadily on. The walk now joins this road and continues ahead. Unfortunately, it seems to have come over quite dull again. More Imber Range path signs, and we continue along the road ahead there. Some good views over to the left from the road. There's a forlorn trick point by the road. All of a sudden the sun has blasted through. Some views over to the right, although it's still a bit hazy. The road turns off and the Wessex Ridgeway becomes a track again. Hazy view over to the right. At this point, the path becomes narrower. Good views over to the right ahead, but hazy. At this fork, Wessex Ridgeway bears left. Confirmation we're on Wessex Ridgeway and a great view ahead. The path goes along the edge of a field with this wooded hollow down to the right and great views further in the distance. At this point the path turns right, still following the edge of the field, and we go downhill to a road. We now turn right down the road and then left up that farm track in the distance. Wessex Ridgeway now heads up this farm track. Interesting sign. Next we turn left down this green lane. Decent views over to the right. There's the path ahead. I'm pointing straight into the sun here. The walk comes to a road and it turns sharp right back on itself along here. Wessex Ridgeway now turns left up this permissive byway. And we're still passing these signs on the left. At the top of the hill, great views looking back the way I've come. The permissive byway winds on into the distance. We're now bearing right towards Bratton Camp Hill Fort. Now amongst the ramparts of Bratton Hill Fort. Great view ahead. Great views over to the right from Bratton Camp Hill Fort. Now looking over towards Westbury town. Now there's a view of the Westbury White Horse. And there's the view indicator atop of White Horse Hill. 754 feet above sea level. And there's the White Horse again. And there's the view. As you can see, the weather's closing in. Now heading away from the hill fort along this track. At this point we're also on part of the Mid-Wilts Way long distance footpath. Shortly after the waymark in the last clip we turn right along this bridleway. At this fork is where I'm leaving Wessex Ridgeway for today. Wessex Ridgeway takes the left fork and then it turns left, but I'm heading down this bridleway on the right to go into Westbury for the train. Now at Westbury station and the end of today's walk along the Wessex Ridgeway.